I said, this isn't gonna work out. It's not you, it's me.
I'm so sorry.
Girl, there's some things I need to tell you. So let's start at the beginning. So remember when I said he had a high body count?
Yeah.
Well, I did conveniently leave out the part where I wasn't talking about hookups. I was actually talking about the amount of people he killed.
That he killed?
Yeah, he's a serial killer. So
What the fuck?
now I said he was bilingual. It was more the fact that every time we got in an argument, he would start talking in a baby voice.
No, tell me that's not true, please.
I know. He also has a daughter.
Wait, that's kind of sweet.
Yeah, no, it is sweet. Except for the fact that he kidnapped her.
What?
Yeah, it's not his. He stole her from his family in Florida.
This is actually insane. Why do you...
Girl, that's not even the worst part. The worst part is he was actually 5'7", not 6 foot, and it is something that will haunt me till the day.
Okay, real talk. Have you ever felt like there was something off in your relationship, but you couldn't necessarily put your finger on what it is? Like he's saying all the right things, but something in your gut is screaming, this ain't it, sis. Well, today we're diving into the subtle red flags that many women and men overlook when in relationships. The kind of red flags that don't seem toxic at first, but they'll low-key sabotage your peace, your softness, and ruin your trust. So I found some of the craziest red flags that were caught just in time. And if any of these behaviors sound familiar, you might need to pack your bags and get out of there. But in the meantime, grab your snacks, grab your drinky drinks, and hold on tight, because it only gets crazier from here.
You are in an abusive relationship if he does these 3 things. I'm serious. I'm going to tell you 3 red flags right now that if he does these, he is toxic or abusive, and you should get the fuck out of there. First one's pretty obvious, but it has to be said. It's when he raises his voice at you, shouts at you, or displays any sort of aggression towards you when you guys are having an argument. Yes, this includes cursing and breaking stuff. Number 2 is when he puts the blame on you, or he tries to make it feel like every problem, mistake, or bad thing going on is your fault. Not only the blame game, but also he tries to make a point out of making you feel really bad for making any mistakes. Red flag number 3 is when he insults you, degrades you, or makes you feel dumb in front of other people, and then he just plays it off as a joke. Honestly, this red flag is kind of a mind fuck, because any way that you try to argue with him or try to tell him that you don't like what he's doing, he's going to try to find a way to justify it and tell you that either you're being too sensitive or that he was just joking around and you don't know how to take a joke. So either way, you lose. Look, I'm not your dad. I'm not here to tell you that you should leave him or that you should stay, but you should leave him. Seriously, I'm just here to bring awareness to the fact that you could be in a toxic and abusive relationship. So you communicate with him, seek help, talk to someone else, or leave his ass. But whichever way you go, please don't stay in a situation like this. Seriously.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, that triggered me. That triggered me real bad, because Lord Jesus, I just got out of a pre-relationship vibe. You know how when you talk to somebody for a good 2, 3, couple, however long, just to see if it's like worth the time, you know? So I was talking to this dude for like 2 weeks, story time. So I know I'm spoiled, and I'm happily spoiled. Like, I love spoiling myself because this is my money. The fuck? I'm gonna do what I want with it. But I was talking to this dude, and he had the audacity to try to call me, like, label me as spoiled. Like, he about 3 times tried to say, you are spoiled. Mind you, this man never even got me fucking flowers. Where was the date night? Where was the proof of spoiling, sir? It was giving, I can't afford you. I mean, that's all you had to say. Because for a man that really fucks with a girl, he don't give a fuck. You know them roses is about that life. You know that girl want roses. You know that girl want dates. That ain't spoiled.
That's bare minimum.
Ugh. I can't believe I even texted that man for 2 weeks. Ugh. But yeah, the right partner will never put you in any of those situations. They won't ever try to label you as something that they think is bad. They won't ever insult you. They won't ever try to make you feel like you're in the wrong when you're not. Don't settle for none of that.
Dang, bruh. She keep blocking every number I call from. You know what? Let me call her off my mom's phone. She'll pick up my mom call. Why is his mom calling me? Hey, miss. Baby, it's me. Please don't hang up. And you're blocked. Classy block. We're not gonna do that. 0%. I was just about to propose to you. And you're blocked. 0%. I'll finally go to therapy. I promise. And you're blocked. The audacity. Okay, let's just have a baby. It'll make everything better. And you're blocked. Classy block. My birthday's coming up and you gonna and you're blocked. We're not gonna do that. The audacity. Baby, I need you. And you're blocked. You know what? It's cool. Just leave me like everybody else. Boop, and you're blocked. Classy block. We're not gonna do that. You owe it to us to at least boop, and you're blocked. That's not fair because I took you back when you boop, and you're blocked. You gonna give up that easy? Boop, and you're blocked. Classy block. We're not gonna do that. 0%.
Okay, I know this guy is a comedian, but this is some real ass shit. I know some of his jokes were like over exaggerated, but the gaslighting, the bare minimum energy, bitch, we're not settling for that. And you're blocked. A 0%. The fuck?
Testing to see if my date is a red flag or not.
That's a really nice necklace that you just put on. I honestly never seen a design like that before.
Oh, thank you. It's actually really cool. If I press it twice on the back, it'll send my location to my friends and the police.
That's really cool. I actually have a sister. She works night shift, and I'm always worried about her. She's always scared too. Just tell me like all these scary stories. But no, I think that would be a really good gift for.
Okay, so be honest. Do y'all think he passed the vibe check? Let me know what you think down below. I personally think that he passed the vibe check. Like, even him thinking about his little sister, that's giving very much consideration, you know? That was cute. Like, he ate that. He ate that. That was the right response, in my opinion.
Oh, we're crying over the loser who couldn't even take you on dates, who couldn't compliment you, who couldn't even do you back. That rat? No.
She has a point. She has a point. Not me low-key thinking about somebody as she's talking. Why was I crying over a loser?
Number one sign that a girl is losing interest, if the communication slows down. If you used to talk to her all the time and then all of a sudden she's busy, she seems preoccupied, she seems distant, she got somebody else.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. If I like somebody, I want to text them all day. I want to text them all freaking day. That's all I have to say, because there's never been a relationship where I didn't want to text. Never, ever, ever. I understand people be working and stuff, but if you're not getting a text message on their lunch break before they leave work, they don't give a fuck.
It's been an entire month since I ended my relationship, and I want to talk about red flags. Now that I have your attention, I'm not talking about the red flags that I found in him. I'm talking about the red flags I found in me. Red flag number one, I was too available. I think something that we've all learned as anxious attachment style girlies is to date more than one person. It really helps when it comes to attachment, and it helps kind of mitigate all of those feelings of anxiety and stress when you are dating more than one person, because you know you have more than one option. Now, when it came to my relationship, I decided he was going to be the last person I went on a date with because I was over it. And conveniently, we clicked, we started hanging out more, and I quickly realized that I was spending all of my time with him. All of my free time. And very rarely did I say, no, I'm busy, or no, I'm gonna have a night to myself, or, you know, I would be thinking about making plans with somebody else, with a friend, and then he'd message me and I'd be like, sure, why not? So moving forward, I'm going to be busy. I'm going to be somebody who is not constantly available to hang out. Red flag number two, I am too committed too fast. Gotta be honest, my mom called me out on this one. She reminded me that this is not necessarily exclusive to relationships, but that when I am determined and when I see something that I want, I go from 0 to 100 so damn fast. Although, you know, in my mind's eye, we were taking time, we were going slow, we didn't define the relationship too quickly, we didn't say I love you too quickly. It was really slowly paced, but in my mind, I was committed. I was like, this relationship is going to end in marriage. And with being so committed so quickly, I don't think that I was able to properly evaluate what choices I was making. It causes us to see with rose-colored glasses and not see the actual reality of our situation. So moving forward, I will take time in the beginning stages of the relationship. I will protect my judgment and my critical thinking skills by not putting all of my eggs in one basket and by not throwing myself into a relationship so early on. Red flag number three, and this one hurts a little bit, is I am too non-confrontational. My ex was the one that kind of brought this to light for me, and it was a hard pill for me to swallow because I have a difficult time learning how to be very straightforward with that kind of communication. I had a conversation with my therapist, and she had asked me, you know, Olivia, how often did you say things like, that hurt my feelings, don't do that again, I don't like it when you do that, please don't do that. Anything that was straightforward, to the point. And I said, never. Because I always packaged it in such a pretty box. I always had a compliment sandwich, or I always made sure that I was taking some accountability in it, when I had no need to take accountability. And it really truly stems from my fear of rejection, my fear of abandonment, and my deep need for people pleasing. So moving forward, I'm not going to sugarcoat when there is something that I need to communicate. I will be honest and upfront and very precise with what I need. I won't beat around the bush and take accountability for something that I don't need to take accountability for. I will work on taking the people pleasing out of my communication. Although I was the one that ended our relationship, it does not mean that I did not contribute to it not working the way that we hoped it would. I think being able to have self-awareness and understand where I fell short and not just my partner has allowed me to be able to move on with more confidence that we both will be better for our next partners. If you just recently ended a relationship, take a look at ways that you could improve the next time around and let me know if you want part 2, because there's plenty more.
So she's definitely talking about some good shit, because I remember last couple situationships I was in, one of the main things that helped me get through was the fact that I was just so tired of playing sweet. So I started being actively confrontational on everything, like in the moment. Like, oh, you just said X, Y, and Z. I don't like that. Why'd you say that? I don't like that. And I think people value that a lot, because a lot of people aren't aware of what irritates you, because everyone is so different. So her last point definitely speaks to me a lot. But that's some real shit. I think that us as women deal with that a lot because we're so used to having to make sure everything's going okay. Like, it's in our nature to make sure everything is going okay. We're good at community building, and the hard part of that is obviously sacrificing your emotions sometimes. So
are there any red flags that you watch out for in dating?
If you can't voice what it is that's actually bothering you. If you got emotion A going on, you're mad because of this, but you want to lash out because I didn't close the cabinets, you're not being forthright with what you're actually upset about. And I don't want to go on like this whole thing to figure out you're really upset because of something else. So being able to communicate properly to me is big.
I feel like that's like bare minimum, just like communication.
You'd think so. You'd think so, but some people are not there yet. And I don't fault people for where they're at, but I do ask that they take responsibility for it.
I absolutely love what he is saying, because this is so accurate. You know, sometimes when I'm around my friends and I know like I'm just being a bitch for no reason, like I literally just have to say it out loud. Please ignore me for the next 30 minutes because I feel angry for no reason. Like, I've hit people with that several times. I'm not gonna lie, because sometimes I just have an attitude and I don't know why.
3 signs that you are the big fat red flag inside of your romantic relationship. I'm Dr. Sarah Hensley. I'm a specialized social psychologist who's been studying the science of attachment and attraction inside romantic relationships for over 15 years. Sign number 1, you get very defensive. Whenever your partner brings something to you that has upset them or something that they would like to see changed in the relationship, you can't even wait until they finish what they're saying before you are jumping in and validating them, saying that's not true, or you're oversensitive, or I didn't mean it like that, or you shouldn't be taking it that way, blah, 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 blah. Defensiveness is a trauma response in the fight category that is coming from a wound that you have in you that has been triggered that you have not yet recognized, nor have you learned how to disarm that trigger of defensiveness. I personally believe that defensiveness is directly correlated with what you truly believe about yourself. People that are rock solid in knowing who they are don't feel the need to get angry and defensive when someone misperceives them or is viewing them in a way that they don't agree with. Secure people are able to go, okay, I understand what you're saying. I hear you on that. I hear that you're feeling this way about XYZ. And even if I don't agree, I could say something like, and my experience in this situation was this, but I recognize that you're hurting right now. What can we do to fix this in a way that feels good to both of us? Red flag number 2, you shut down during vulnerable moments or difficult or awkward moments inside of your relationship. This is very characteristic of somebody with dismissive avoidant attachment who has wounds around being vulnerable, sharing their emotions, and the emotions of other people greatly overwhelm them to the point where they start to shut down and internalize everything they're feeling. They might even go into a disassociated response because they feel like this conflict is so unsafe, their brain simply can't process it. A key sign of this is if your partner asks you, how are you feeling, or what do you feel about this, and you go, I don't know, and you legitimately don't know in the moment, you're likely disassociated. And or you have a habit of suppressing your feelings where you have to go off and take a lot of time to try to process them. And when they come up and they're painful, you pour yourself into something else. Number 3, you're more focused on what you are getting out of the relationship than what you are contributing. You may not know how to meet your partner's needs effectively, and you're not thinking about that. You are just thinking about how things always feel to you instead of how you are making someone else feel inside of the relationship. When you have that transactional model inside of relationships of what am I getting out of this, and there's no balance where there's also an equal focus on what am I giving inside this relationship, you are acting in a selfish and self-directed way, and you are not going to be able to be a healthy, loving, secure relationship partner because you're going to stop meeting people's needs. And meeting people's needs is about meeting them in the way they want them met, not in the way you think they should be met.
I really like her points. Definitely made me self-reflect and also reflect on some situations that I've been in, like when I got the police called on me. Yeah, so let me know, do you have any red flags? I think I may have maybe one or two. Let me know down below if any of those resonated with you.
If your boyfriend does any of these things, you need a new boyfriend. I recently learned that none of these things were normal, and I accepted them in the past because I was like, oh, that's just who they are. That's just how they operate. No. And let me start by saying there is someone out there, there's probably multiple people out there who are willing to give you everything that you want and everything that you need without you having to ask for it, without you having to teach them how to do it, without you having to beg for it, or without you having to break down and cry for them to see how much it's affecting you and then change and start doing those things. Just remember that. For one, huge one, communication. Whether that be just texting you throughout the day or, effectively communicating something that is bothering you. I don't care what anyone says, it is not normal. It is not normal for your significant other to not speak to you all day. It's not normal. Especially us, our generation, looks at their phone all the time. Is it in your hand 24/7? No. Are you looking at it when you have free time? Yes. Are you looking at it when you go or come from the bathroom? Yes. Are you looking at it during your lunch break? Yes. So if someone tells you, I'm so sorry, I've been so busy for 10 hours, that is a lie. They don't want to speak to you, so they aren't speaking to you. If you're trying to talk about something that is bothering you and they say they just don't know how to communicate, that is bullshit. That is emotionally lazy. If you think that you are a bad communicator, which I think is just not true, you need to learn how to communicate. You need to be an effective partner and learn how to effectively communicate with your significant other. Saying, I just don't know how, does not suffice. And if you think that it's going to make that conversation go away, you are very silly. 2, if he doesn't compliment you or tell you how he feels about you. I have been in relationships where I had to ask, do I look pretty? Do you think I'm cute? Do you like this picture? And it's so pathetic. It's so pathetic. If you have to ask someone to tell you that you look nice, that is crazy to me. If you are, 1, in a position where you don't know how your partner feels about you, that fucking sucks. But 2, have to ask how they feel about you, and that's the only time you hear about, what they like about you when you're asking for it. You need a new boyfriend. You need a new boyfriend. 3, if he doesn't do things just because. For instance, let's talk about flowers. If you say to your boyfriend, I really like flowers, I would love it if you got me flowers, and they never ever get you flowers, you need a new boyfriend. If they know your likes, what you like to eat, what kind of clothes you like, or whatever the case may be, and they don't ever get you something or send you something or say something to you because they know it'll make you smile, they know it'll make you happy, you need a new boyfriend. If they're not just doing things because they're like, this is gonna make this person have such a great day, you need a new boyfriend. 4, if he ignores you. This is such a fucking massive one to me, because that is such a big trigger to me. If, you're trying to talk to them and they just ignore you. It's kind of gone back to the first one. They just ignore you all day, even though they know there's a text message sitting in their inbox. Or you're trying to tell them something that is bothering you, something that is hurting you, and they decide to give you the silent treatment. They decide to stonewall you. They decide to just not answer and they think it's gonna go away. You need a new boyfriend. That is emotional manipulation. That is fuck. And ignoring someone when they are trying to voice something that hurts them, makes them feel unheard, not valued, not appreciated, not respected. It's human decency to respond to someone who is saying, X, Y, and Z that you're doing is hurting me and I want to discuss it. 5, they make you feel bad about yourself. Whether they make you feel bad about being emotional or being upset about something, if they're calling you crazy, they're calling you sensitive, they're calling you over dramatic, you need a new boyfriend. And even if you don't feel comfortable to be yourself, if you don't feel like you could be silly, you could be goofy, if you feel like there's things that you can't say, or you feel like you are shrunken in that relationship because you don't know what they're gonna think of you or you're worried what they're gonna think of you, you need a new boyfriend. 6, if your boyfriend does not plan anything for you, he doesn't take you on dates, he doesn't say, hey, I really like this place, I would love to enjoy it with you, you need a new boyfriend. If they are constantly saying, you pick a place, what do you want to do this weekend, pick a place and we'll go, you need a new boyfriend. They are not thoughtful, they are not romantic. 6, if you have plans with them and they decide to do something else, whether they tell you they're going to do something else or they don't tell you they're going to do something else, and you're like, hey babe, are we still on for 7? And they're like, oh no, sorry, I'm actually here with these people, maybe later. If they bail on you, they flake on you, or something else is offered to them and they're like, this is more fun, and then they go and do it. You need a new boyfriend. Someone who doesn't respect your time, respect your plans, and makes you feel like there's always something better to do than to see you. You need a new boyfriend. I forgot what number we're on, but social media. If they are following a bunch of women, whether it's women, and women that I feel like men are allowed to have female friends. That might be an unpopular opinion, but they are. If they're following OnlyFans girls, if they're following girls that are literally selling sex on their social media, whether it's, selling an OnlyFans account or just selling clothing where they're naked, where they're half naked, you need a new boyfriend. Any person who is following people who are soliciting sex while in a relationship is not a person that respects you or your feelings. You have a girlfriend. Why do you need to look at hundreds of naked women online? Why do you need to do that? And especially if they're liking those photos, it's like embarrassing. It's like, you're embarrassing me. You're embarrassing me by doing this. You're making me look like a fucking asshole. And it's so funny because it's always these men that follow all these girls that would never give them the time of day. And then they have a girlfriend who have all these guys following them and that they would never give the time of day. That's where you guys are different. You need a new boyfriend if he does that. My last one, which kind of goes along with communication, is running away. When something is difficult, when something takes effort, when, they feel uneasy about something.
So those were definitely some good points. Those were some amazing points. Honestly, some of those red flags were way too real for me. It's not always the loud red flags. A lot of the time, it is the quiet, subtle red flags. The little comments, the little jokes that they think are super funny, the way they want to suppress your thoughts, your actions, or if they make you feel like you have to walk on eggshells. If any of those hit home for you, trust me, you are not crazy. You just need a new man or you need a new girl, okay? Remember that you are made perfectly in God's image, and the person for you is gonna see exactly that. Drop a comment and let me know what the biggest red flag was for you today. And make sure you check out this video here because YouTube thinks that you would also like it a lot. And share this with someone to remind them that we are not settling for any red flags or fishy behavior anymore. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. I make videos once a week or more, and I'll see y'all next week. Bye, friends.